And what does this new call in the nest mean? All this and more to come. Good day everyone, and welcome back to another video. And you may have noticed that in the start of that video I've gave a little bit of a preview to what is to come at the end of the video. And yes, we are covering 13 days of incubation. I've decided to put all the days of incubation into one video, as Biddy really just sits around and incubates the eggs. While it's a crucial part of the nesting season, it can be pretty boring to look at, if I dare say. While it does be really nice to pop in and look at it while it's live and see her all cozied up with her eggs for making a video and some engaging content, not a lot really happens. So that's why I've put 13 days of footage all crammed into one, and then slowed down some of the more interesting pieces. Like this, for example, where Biddy randomly regurgitates or gets sick a little. Well, I'm not too sure what it is, it's really anyone's guess. She was doing a lot of heavy breathing, and I knew it couldn't have been an egg at this stage, and then look. And a little FYI, if you're eating at the moment, maybe look away or just put the fork down. And there we go, she regurgitates something quite large and green. So I have personally never seen that happening. Really interesting to see. Hopefully it was just a case of something too big to digest and needs to be brought back up. But thankfully, a little while later, she's back in and she is as healthy as ever. And with that, we speed on to the 25th of April. And she is continuing to incubate her eggs. Not surprisingly, she is continuing to turn her eggs, make sure all her eggs are getting equal amount of heat, as now that the life cycle in those eggs have begun, it is crucial that they are kept warm. And this is because it's now a lot easier for those eggs to actually perish without heat than they were before incubation. And we're still having issues with the starlings. Thankfully, Biddy is having none of it, and she's really letting the starlings know that they are not welcome, and it seems to be keeping them at bay. Now, I also must say that the nest box hole is a lot too small to let a starling in. Now, we've seen that they can get their beak and a part of their head in, but they can't seem to get fully in. So her and her eggs should be safe once they stay away from that nest hole. And we can only imagine just how scary that must be for Biddy, this huge beak coming in that nesting hole and threatening her and her potential babies. But nonetheless, the starling is just trying to survive. And on the flip side, we do get to see this quite interesting defensive behaviour by Biddy there, flapping that wings, slapping her wings against her body to make a noise, and then that very, very distinct hissing noise that she makes. Thankfully though, all seems to end well, and we see just an hour later Miley in with just a little bit of food for Biddy. He's been bringing in loads of food on and off, so it's really looking like he's going to be able to bring and provide a lot of food for the chicks. So let's hope what happened last year doesn't happen, where the chicks came out and the food just disappeared. Also, if we remember, Miley had an awful issue actually feeding the chicks. He found it very tough to actually get them to take food off him. So it's going to be interesting to see how all that plays out in a little bit more greater detail than the live stream, and indeed compared to last year. And we're powering on to the 27th of April, and things are looking pretty similar as they did the last few days. She is incubating, turning those eggs, and nothing too crazy is happening these days, thankfully. Already on to the 28th. If you are interested, this footage is sped up something like 5,000% or something like that. So we are really seeing a really very quick summary of the incubation process. And we forge on until the 1st of May. So we see Miley coming in there feeding Biddy like he has been on and off throughout the days. And really there is only 5 days left until the chicks are due to hatch. And thankfully it's been all quiet. The rival pair of Bluetits seem to have got the message and left elsewhere. We do, however, still have the odd drop in from the starlings, which we're actually going to get another visit right now. And you can really see just how much of a fright that gave Biddy. I don't think she was expecting that one at all. And the head of the starling can get in quite a bit, as we saw there. But if Biddy stays hunkered down like that, that starling shouldn't be able to reach her. The real fear is later on in the nesting season when the chicks are reaching up and gaping for food. If that starling can grab one of those chicks at that moment, well, let me just tell you, it wouldn't end very well. And with that, we've went through all the highlights of the 13 days of incubation. The only things that you haven't been really shown was Miley feeding Biddy and a lot of egg turning like she's doing there now. And this is on the 6th of May. And yes, this is the big day. So it started off like any other, but of course by the end of this day we're gonna have some chicks in the nest. Finally, it's been a long time coming, and thank you for being patient with the editing. I've been very busy in my professional life and I've been just running left, right and center, so that is why these have been slow coming out, but they are coming and I'm going to try to speed things up in the coming weeks. But with all that being said, on the 6th of May, something very special happened indeed. Biddy's eggs started to hatch. The first one hatches just underneath her, and we don't really see it until she gets up in a few moments. And now we see Biddy shuffling just a little bit, and she is going to leave in just a few moments, and we're going to get our first kind of obstructed view of a chick. And you may miss it, but if you look at that little bit of red behind that feather, and just to the left of it, we see a little broken eggshell. We see Miley straight in with a bit of food, and just listen. That is a new call we haven't seen this year. Of course, we've heard it last year from another Bluetit's nest, and that is the call of a Bluetit trying to coax its chick into gaping for food. We can see a little bit of movement off the chick, but does it actually get to feed? When chicks are born, or hatch as they said, they do have a full belly of yolk, I think, from their egg. They're still quite full, so we can see Miley here kind of struggling to get food into the chick, and this feeding attempt actually goes unsuccessful, unfortunately. But I wouldn't be too worried. When they're brand new, they can be weak from coming out of the shell. We can see the shell right beside that chick, so that chick could be very tired after breaking into the world as it did. But we see poor Miley trying his best to feed the new chick. Let's hope this year that he manages to actually feed the chick successfully on an ongoing basis. Now, I think the odds were stacked against him last year. We had terrible rainy storms. He couldn't find any food. He was trying to feed weak chicks. So I'm hopeful for this year. Let's just see how it all plays out. And so in the next video, we're going to take it off from this point in the next video. And also, I have a little bit of free time next week, so I'm going to try to get through a load of videos, edit a good few, and schedule them to come in the coming days and weeks. And maybe try to get through them all and schedule them to come out every day or two or so, or something like that. So again, thank you for sticking with me, and we will see you in the next video. Hope you are all keeping well, and we will chat to you again. Bye bye.